Today's the day we're gonna win. We're gonna fight.
Notre Dame stops it. The Irish win the game.
We play together, we play for each other, and we play to win.
Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Coca-Cola, Sprint, Gatorade, and Under Armour. Inside Notre Dame Football is also sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, Bank of America, Cadillac, CBTS, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.
We're 4-0. We get to stay home now the next 2 weeks. We're in our stadium, and we're not going to play the way we played tonight at our stadium because we got Stanford coming, and we're going to have to play great football. You guys know it. So we're going to have to work hard. Great win. Got a lot of work to do, but we got to keep moving forward.
Irish head coach Brian Kelly talking to his team after Notre Dame's 31-15 victory over Syracuse in New Jersey on Saturday night. Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly. I'm Jack Nolan. Everyone in that Irish locker room after the game Saturday night knew this year's Notre Dame team can and must play better in future weeks if they are to achieve their team goals this season. Coach Kelly never wants his players to be disappointed with a win, but he also wants them to always be focused on correcting mistakes and getting better each and every week of the season.
Pleased with the win. I want our guys to understand it's hard to win, but you can't turn the ball over 5 times and expect to win games going away. So learned a lot from it and some great teaching moments.
This is Bob. Bob's on a first date, so he's not thinking about where to buy his next set of tires. But if he were, all he'd need to know is TireRack.com. They stock over 1 million tires and can have yours shipped to a trusted, independent, recommended installer in as little as 1 business day. But Bob's not thinking about tires. Bob's thinking, should I tell her about that thing in her teeth? TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
What happens to your internet when everybody's online at once?
It's very frustrating.
Run into bandwidth issues.
Xfinity delivers the fastest and most reliable in-home Wi-Fi. I bet we can have all 3 of these guys on their devices and download our favorite HD show. You're going to be impressed.
Never seen something download that fast.
Everyone can be on their devices all at the same time.
So, flippin' fast.
Get the fastest in-home Wi-Fi with Xfinity Internet, or get started for $19.99 a month for a year. See for yourself. Call 855-215-FAST.
Sweat. It says I was here. I worked here. It says I only have so much to give before I have to take. What I lose, I want to get back. Sweat says I earned this. Gatorade, created to help replace what you sweat out.
Notre Dame's first possession of the Syracuse game provided an accurate preview of what the evening had in store for the Irish offense. Notre Dame had little trouble moving the ball against the Orange, but ND left a lot of points on the field because of 5 turnovers.
Certainly for us, probably the most frustrating thing of the evening is that we moved the ball all night. I think we punted twice all evening, and we did that early as we were trying to figure out what they were doing. And once we figured it out, we either scored a touchdown or we turned it over, which, again, very frustrating, but something that we can correct.
And turnovers are momentum-sapping plays. And that first one did seem to knock your offense off a little bit for the first quarter, but your defense never allowed Syracuse to get anything out of those early turnovers.
Yeah, and I think that was really key. Our defense really showed a resolve there that, during those sudden changes, they were outstanding. And so Syracuse could really never mount any energy from those turnovers, which was obviously huge.
Talk about your first scoring drive early in the second quarter.
When you're looking at how we wanted to operate our offense, it was the combination of the run game. We ran the ball over 41 times and mixing it up with the pass. So I think the balance of that first drive was what was the most important thing. We were able to get the ball out on the perimeter to Will Fuller. He made a great run. That's what we look for from Will Fuller.
Certainly to me, it looked like the best execution of the screen game.
We're getting to the point where we need to be with our screen game. So if you do want to blitz us and you do want to pressure us, you're going to have to deal with that. And we wanted that as a part of our offense that had not been really there. And it's been a trademark of the offenses that I've run, and I think it's been missing. And so I think we're getting better at it. We're using it as a weapon. And if you want to just dial up pressures all the time, then you're going to have to deal with our screen game.
You didn't take a lot of deep shots, but the next time you got the ball, you took a deep one and you got it to Will.
You know, we thought that got a one-on-one matchup with Will, and he used his outstanding speed and a great throw by Everett. And it was a quick strike shot that we had it set up pretty good from the previous time we were in backed up, where we used our 2 tight end formation. The corners were low, the safeties were low. It was just set up nicely. All we needed was to run and catch, and we did a great job.
Those 2 touchdowns on consecutive possessions by Will was a turning point in the game.
Oh, there's no question. Once we were able to show that, look, you know, we can make these kinds of plays, getting up 14-0 and the way our defense was playing, I think it kind of settled everybody down. I think it settled Everett down. I think it settled down everybody that was following the game, that we were going to be able to get back and to do the things that we needed to systematically win the football game.
You had scored on your final drive of the first half in each of your first 3 games, and you almost did it again.
You know, again, putting us in that position, you know, it was either that or we're going to turn the football over. We're going to go back and look at very basic things, how to put the ball down on the ground, fire, things that you've done since grade school, and, you know, we just got to have an attention to detail. Those are all great teaching moments and learning moments, and we'll get better because of it.
In an effort to improve the play of the offensive line, Coach Kelly and his staff made a number of position changes in the 2 weeks leading up to the Syracuse game on the offensive line. Changes Coach Kelly believes paid some dividends against the Orange.
It's work in progress. I mean, you're not going to have it all come together in the first night. Some real things that stood out. We had 7, consecutive conversions on 3rd down and running the football. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And that speaks to some of the things that are going on in the offensive line. I thought that was helpful. 1 sack against a team that lives off of getting to the quarterback. I thought that was very, positive as well.
Before earning enough cash back from Bank of America to help pay for her kids' ice time. Before earning 1% cash back everywhere, every time.
Close the front door!
And 2% back at the grocery store. Even before she got 3% back on gas, all with no hoops to jump through. Katie used her Bank Americard Cash Rewards credit card to stay warm and toasty during the heat of competition. That's the comfort of rewarding connections. Apply online or at a Bank of America near you.
Got him in group as a go.
Yes! Not just a startup, an upstart. Gotta get going.
Gotta be good.
Good?
Good.
Growth is the goal. How do we do that?
I talked to UPS. They'll help us out. New technology, smart advice. We focus on the business, and they take care of the logistics.
UPS.
Good going.
We get good. That's great.
Great. Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
I love logistics.
This is Pete. Pete is helping his aunt move, so he's not thinking about tires right now. But if he were, all he'd need to know is TireRack.com. They post their own test results and user reviews, so he could get the right tires for his car in as little as 1 business day. But Pete's not thinking about tires. Pete's thinking it would have been nice if his aunt had mentioned the Minor Bird. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Trailing by just 11 points, Syracuse grabbed some momentum to start the second half with a couple of big plays on the opening drive of the third quarter. But with the Orange already in field goal range on the Irish 29-yard line, veteran defensive back Matthias Farley squeezed all the momentum out of Syracuse with his second interception of the season.
It was a big interception. He's made a couple this year. It was interesting because he got beat earlier on a similar play. He saw it coming, made a nice interception, and gave us great momentum in field position.
Another thing you've been very good at this year as a team is you make people pay when you get a turnover, and you did that again.
And we did, and I think that was an important part of, when we got the one takeaway, and a huge takeaway by our defense, we were able to put a nice drive together and score. And I thought that was a real big play for us in that situation where, I think Syracuse then felt like this was going to be a tough one to overcome.
And on that drive, Chris Brown had a great camp, and then kind of disappeared a little bit, but he stepped up and made some big plays for you on that drive.
He sure did, and that was nice to see. He played faster. We had challenged Chris. We thought that he was thinking too much. He was putting maybe a little bit too much pressure on himself, and then I think he really realized that he just needed to go play. I think all of that, coming in and being a great leader, I think he put maybe a little bit too much pressure on himself, and we really had a great week of just talking to him about playing and playing fast, and he played fast on Saturday and made some big plays for us.
Last year, not just you, but his teammates were kind of kidding Corey. Yeah, you can catch, but you can't stay on your feet. Talk about how far he's come, because that was one of the best catches I've ever seen a Notre Dame receiver make.
It was an outstanding catch. His body control on that play for such a big kid. He's a unique player. Once we saw the one-on-one matchup there, it was pretty obvious what Everett was going to do in that situation. Got the ball out to Corey, twists and contorts in the air, makes an incredible catch, comes down and lands hard, and you think maybe the ball is going to pop up, but secures the football. Just an outstanding individual catch.
You mentioned the fake punt. That, again, is a momentum-changing play, but your defense comes up and stops that drive with a stop on 3rd and 4th.
Just a great job. It's just crazy that that the bad coaching on my part. We were in a return situation there. Our defense does a great job. That was the worst field position that we gave them all night, and they just do a terrific job on 3rd and 4th down.
634 days before the Syracuse game, Torrey Hunter broke his leg down at the Army All-American game. You finally got him into the game, and he contributed big time.
He did. It was great to see him in the game. And I don't even think he's at 100%. He's probably about 85%. But he's a guy that has a lot of different skill sets. He can run the ball, he can catch it inside, he can catch it outside, and you'll see more and more of him as the season progresses.
Is this team where you thought it would be after 4 games?
I think you're always hopeful, but you really never know. We wanted to make sure that this team continued to grow and got better. We were hoping that by week 4 that, we were getting better, and I think we are, other than turning the football over last night. This is a team that is playing a lot of underclassmen. I think we had 41 on the trip. We like the direction they're going, and I would say, to answer your question, that we feel really good about where we are after 4 weeks.
There is your final score. The 2014 Irish are now the first Notre Dame team since the 1943 national champions to score 30 points in each of their first 4 games of the season. This year's Irish team has also now held each of its first 4 opponents to 17 points or less. The last 2 teams to do that, the 2012 and 1988 Notre Dame teams. There is a look at your final stats provided by UND.com. The stats show a dominant performance by the Irish with the glaring exception of turnover margin. But winning while losing the turnover battle by 4 is itself impressive. In the previous 29 college football games over the last 2 seasons, when a team finished -4 in turnover margin against an FBS Power 5 conference opponent, only one of those -4 teams won the game. The other 28 all lost. And the Irish receiving corps is feeling pretty good about where it is after 4 games. Will Fuller and Corey Robinson both had career days against Syracuse, while you just saw the first catch of Torrey Hunter's career. What you did not see on the telecast was how nearly every member of the Notre Dame team greeted Torrey when he returned to the sidelines after the touchdown. That special moment is this week's ATI Physical Therapy Strong and True Moment of the Week.
Almost 32 now, coach.
After the victory over Syracuse, the Irish players were following the lead of their head coach. They were enjoying the win while already focusing on the things they need to do to be even better next week against Stanford.
I mean, we won the game. Happy. At the same time, we do realize that we have to be better in the future, and so we were happy to get this W and to beat Syracuse. They're a great team. They fought really, really hard tonight.
Yeah, especially when you can get a win like this. Shows you how much character we have on this team and just how much we're willing to fight for the extra inches or just pretty much the win.
Just handling adversity, I think, is good from that standpoint. But you can't keep having too many games like this. As Coach Kelly talked about, going up against those teams, you don't get wins. Turn the ball over 5 times and things like that. So, like I said, we just got to clean a lot of stuff up.
While many fans may focus on Everett's mistakes against Syracuse, he did set the school record for consecutive completions in a game with an incredible 25 straight completed passes. He also set career records for completions and passing yards while leading the Irish on a number of impressive drives against the Orange. With that in mind, it is time to hear Coach Kelly's selection for this week's edition of the TireRack.com Drive of the Game.
There's two, but I think the one that stands out for me is the one that backed us up on the 5-yard line. And we really forced them to take a timeout when we pushed the pace on them. I think we really sent the message to them that we could control the flow and the tempo of the game. And I think the backbreaker for them was off the turnover, where we were able to score. I think those two drives stand out to me.
The evolution of luxury continues. The next generation 2015 Escalade.
Sprint has done it again. First, there was the Sprint Family Share Pack. A family of 2, 4, or even 10 gets unlimited talk, text, and 20 gigabytes of data to share with the entire family for only $100 a month. That's double the high-speed data of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Double the data. And now check out Sprint's new unlimited plan. Individual lines of unlimited data, talk, and text at just $50 a month per line. Our lowest price ever. $100 a month for the family, $50 a month for individual lines. Sprint, it's the best value in wireless.
The Notre Dame football team is looking forward to the challenge of returning to Notre Dame Stadium this weekend to take on 13th-ranked Stanford in front of an again increasingly enthusiastic fan base. The team is also looking forward to again playing on the new state-of-the-art field turf that was installed over the summer. The turf has received almost unanimous rave reviews from the players and was installed with remarkable speed between the months of May and August. Here's a look at that process. At the beginning of that piece, you saw the stage for graduation. Graduation will no longer take much of a toll on the field with the new field turf. Now, Corey Robinson is one of the many Irish players enjoying the benefits of playing on the new surface in Notre Dame Stadium. But right now, it doesn't matter where Robinson plays. He just gets better every week. This past weekend against Syracuse, Corey set career highs with 8 catches for 91 yards, earning him a chance to run the inside Notre Dame football 60-second drill. First car you ever drove?
My brother's Lexus convertible.
Favorite musical group or artist?
Bob Marley and the Wailers.
What did you do on your first date?
Took her to a Spurs game.
Most famous person you have met?
Probably Tim Duncan.
Place anywhere in the world you would like to visit?
Japan.
What is your favorite place at Notre Dame?
Ooh, the Grotto.
Best player to room with on the road?
On the road, Cam McDaniel.
Best nickname on the team and who has it?
Best nickname on the team? Oh man, I don't know any nicknames. I have no idea.
All right, what is your pregame routine?
I listen to a lot of reggae music and island music, a lot of acoustic music, and then just kind of roll with it. Let's just do it.
New turf in Notre Dame Stadium.
I think it's awesome.
Best singer on the team?
Oh, Everett.
Best dancer on the team?
Ben Koyak.
Best dresser on the team?
Oh, Austin Collinsworth.
Worst dresser on the team?
Me.
Best thing about playing for Notre Dame?
The fans and the tradition. Fans and the tradition.
Corey Robinson, you have completed the 60-second drill.
Yes.
Couple of quizzes. Dinner? I don't know. Oh, love that. Send me the recipe. You too, Mom.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, what are you doing?
We're just sitting down for dinner.
Perfect. Mind if I join you?
You did it.
Whenever you're close to Meyer,
What he made.
you're a little closer to home.
A financial institution is behind many of the milestones in your life. Pick one that sees you as more than just an account number. Own your dreams. Join a credit union today.
It's time now for this week's Ask Coach Kelly question presented by CBTS. This week's question comes from Deacon Sean Cavaney of Gillespie, Illinois. Sean asks, Coach, how do you determine which coaches are on the sidelines during a game and which coaches are upstairs in the booth?
It's generally a decision we make for the season, so we develop that continuity. Coach Van Gorder likes to be on the sideline, likes to call it from the sideline. Coach Diaco, my former defensive coordinator, liked to see it from above. So sometimes it's about preference. And then I think it has to do with who's calling. You know, I'm calling the play, so I want some eyes up in the box. So Coach Denbrock, who gives me a better perspective of everything, and Coach LaFleur, who can focus in on the quarterback. So play calling and then preference in terms of whether you like to be on the sideline, that really determines it for the season.
If you would like to send in a question for Coach Kelly, just log on to UND.com and click on Ask Coach Kelly in the rotating boxes in the middle of the main page. Next up for the Irish, their toughest challenge of the season to date. A Stanford team ranked 13th in this week's coaches poll that leads the nation in total defense.
As you know, Stanford and the kind of defense that they play, it hasn't changed. They've always been one of the top 10 defenses in the country. So whether they're first or 10th, it just depends sometimes on who you play. We've always regarded them as one of the best defenses in the country. So another great challenge coming up, and it'll be another great game.
And that will do it for this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly. We will, of course, have all the highlights of the showdown between Notre Dame and Stanford on next week's show. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Irish. Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly has been presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Coca-Cola, Sprint, Gatorade, and Under Armour. Inside Notre Dame Football is also sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, Bank of America, Cadillac, CBTS, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.